My name is Tommy Smith. This is my wife, Pam. We live in Fayette, Alabama. We've been partners with the Kenneth Copeland Ministries for going on 30 years now. When we first got married, I had been saved probably less than a year, and Pam had been in church most of her life. And we were taught not to listen to TV ministers, and but I would slip around and I would begin to listen to Kenneth Copeland. And by this time I was pastoring, and I would watch him before I would go to church. And I told her one Sunday morning, I said, Pam, sit down and listen to what he's saying. And she sat down and she listened to him, and from that time on, she was sold on the biblical teaching that Brother Copeland was bringing to us.
Things just began to turn around in our lives from listening to Kenneth Copeland. He was teaching us that we were to prosper because we had never heard that before. You know, we lost our baby. We had the medical bills. We were afraid to answer the telephone. Our finances were really bad.
I remember one day I got down on my knees and broke the poverty curse in our lives. It was a very real issue with us, and we broke that. And within just, I guess, 2 or 3 years, we were completely out of debt. God began to bless us. We began to sow into the ministry and begin to trust God. We begin to look at our offerings as seed being planted. They begin to grow, they begin to mature, and things just begin to happen.
We cut up our credit cards, decided we're not buying anything on credit. I got the job that I was wanting. I feel like God put that in my heart to be a teacher. I always wanted to be a teacher.
Every business that I start prospers. I'm able to sell it for money. It seems like I'm at the right place at the right time for property. We were in church one morning, and we were into the Word, and Pam was leading praise and worship in church. My son had already told me that he was going to medical school. He'd already told me how big of a check we was going to have to the first year, and then that was going to be for 4 years. And then if he specialized, it would continue on. And I was having, as Brother Copeland says, the pity party right there in church while worship was going up. But anyway, the Lord spoke up to me and said, I'm his father, and I'm your father. And he said, it's in my hands. And then we'd come home, and I was sitting in the sunroom, and I was watching a praise-a-thon. And all of a sudden, I said, well, Pam, bring me the checkbook. I just felt like sending an offering. And she said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm paying for my son's education. Now, that came from God. That came right out of the Spirit of God, because I was not thinking that. And I wrote that check, I mailed it in, and the next week, things began to click. He went through 4 years of pre-med, 4 years of medical school, 4 years of internship, and 2 years of a fellowship. And when he went to work, he owed nobody a dime. There was not a dime owed anywhere. That little check that I wrote that morning turned into probably close to $350,000. I tell everybody I put 3 kids through college. I put my wife through college. I put my son and I put my daughter through college. The businesses that I've had has been prosperous, but nothing to have done what we've accumulated in that without God being in it. And I do know that it's because of the teaching and the training that I have received from Brother Copeland's ministry that's caused that. We're financially secure as far as the world would look at it. Of course, I know that our security is in God. I realize that. But we have a beautiful family. All of our immediate family are saved. Our children, our grandchildren are getting saved.
It's just exciting to walk by faith and not have to struggle anymore. Just walk by faith and just trust God for whatever we need.
People come to my office and I'll have a CD going or the internet going, and people will say, is that Brother Copeland? Is that Gloria Copeland? I really like to hear them. And so people are listening, and that's what I like about the Kenneth Copeland Ministry. I believe the integrity of it is there, and I would continue to support it, and I would recommend that anybody give to this ministry.